Everybody, welcome back. In this video, we're going to be talking about two things. The best big bad to buy, especially for new players. And second, we're going to do a giveaway for the May season passes, and I'll go through the details on how you could potentially win. On Twitter, hopefully you saw this if you're already following the YouTube channel. If not, there's a link to follow in the description below. But I just basically said that I am grateful for all of the support everybody's giving me, and I'm trying to push towards 1,000 subscribers, and I sort of wanted to celebrate that. The support and encouragement has been more than I could imagine. I literally tell my wife about how awesome it is, and I'm just feeling really encouraged. So I'm going to keep grinding through. So I want to say thank you to everybody. Again, on the tweet, it's real simple. Go to Twitter, like and retweet, reply to that tweet which May card that you're most excited about. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, obviously. There's a link in the tweet, but obviously you're already here, so you can easily subscribe. I say bonus for commenting on a video too, so might want to do that. And then follow me on Twitter as well. The deadline is going to be Cinco de Mayo, and I said I'm going to be giving away 3 passes for every 1K subs. It's sort of a joke, but you know, I was like, I wonder if I could throw something out there just for fun and see if it actually happens. I'm just grateful for everybody for all your support already, and I do want to pay some of that back. So if you're interested in this season pass, you want to get Nebula, do these things. Thank you again. Very humbled, very appreciative. All right, let's get to this big bad thing. So you can always get a big bad in your store here. I have got Darkhawk pinned at the moment. It's an important decision in the game because you don't get a massive amount of tokens. And if you're going to spend 6K tokens on something, you want to make sure you're making a really good decision on that. So let's walk through the big bads, whether you should pin them, buy them, etc. And again, I try to focus a little bit towards newer players, but I think it basically applies to anybody who's looking to get big bads. We're going to go over to untapped.gg to look at these. The first one I want to look at is Galactus. Obviously, he's a very controversial card right now. I think the big reason is people don't like how it destroys the gameplay. Truth is there's a lot of gameplay that can destroy what you want to do. So for me personally, I'm indifferent about Galactus. He's fine. In the game, I don't think it needs to be changed. If you lose to him, you're more than likely not going to get into an 8-cube loss unless you've got a rogue or they've got priority, or you've got a Shang-Chi and you feel good about being able to destroy whatever big cards they throw down. But I know I'm always watching for the plays prior to Galactus based on his decks. He does have some pretty cool variants out there. This golden one, a couple of these ones at the bottom are some of the favorite. This chibi one, I don't see that one very often. That's pretty, I don't know if that's out, but that's amazing. And then the decks that you typically see him is you're talking the Yondus, the Wolverines, Electros, Waves. That you know that you're likely going to get a Galactus or every once in a while a Lizard. So those are the sort of things that I look for. You always know you're going to have like a Null, Death, Make Me America Chavez. There's Hobgoblins, Green Goblins. You'll see every once in a while as well. For me, I say for Galactus, I put him towards the back. If I'm going to think about spending on a big bad, he's one of the last ones I'm thinking of, unless I really like that sort of gameplay, because the biggest reason outside the gameplay is, okay, I need to get this card, I need this card, I need this card, I need this card. And when I'm saying this cards, I'm talking about Electro, Wave, Null, Dr. Octopus, Spider-Man, Death is in almost everyone, Destroyer, other hard cards to get, Psylocke. These are just cards that you need a lot of other cards to get this to work well. It certainly can, but it's not necessarily going to get you huge cube gains. So again, for that reason, unless you really like playing that sort of play style, I'm passing on them. Next in this list is Kang. Now, I will disclose, this is the one big bad that I've personally bought. I personally love Kang. I'm always on Twitter talking about Kang Gang, trying to get people to like him. I like that he can fit in my opinion, every single deck and help you learn what your opponent might do. The thing that people complain about the most with Kang is that they feel like it wastes people time. I suppose it takes some extra time for that turn to go through. Yeah, I guess. Daredevil also makes people sit and wait longer, but you play the turn. I don't know. I personally think it's a great card. I like the bluff snap mechanic on it. It's phenomenal. I've won a number of cubes just on doing that and been like, I don't know if I'm going to win this, but I'm going to snap and see if I can get it. Oh, they leave. Cool. It does also have some mind games when you're playing him. I like to play him on turn 6. I don't like playing him on turn 5 typically, unless it's a Mindscape situation. I will play him on turn 6, see what somebody's going to do. Yes, they can change it. And then you can get in it. Well, are they going to change it or are they going to leave it? Now, what should I do? If they change it, that means, you know, and you get into that whole like psychology thing. I personally enjoy that a little bit. I've won some, I've lost some, but I will say he, more often than not for me, given how I've played him, has saved me cubes. I've gotten to infinite 2 seasons in a row using this card in one specific deck, which I will highlight at some point in the near future. Got some pretty cool variants. I think my favorite one is probably the Baby King. His band one isn't too bad. I don't know, the Pixel one as always. Decks, frankly, I think he could go anywhere. I really do. I mean, you could go look for decks for him forever. Anytime you want to see a turn on 5 or 6, Kang could work. As far as the rankings go, I cannot put him in front of, obviously, Thanos. I'd love to because I think he's great and I think he can go with any deck you've already got. But honestly, Thanos kind of can too. That's a little bit of a spoiler. So I do rank Kang in between Galactus and Thanos as far as the big bads go. And we're getting a new big bad who we're going to touch on here shortly. But given that it's not a guaranteed situation, I can't put him quite above Thanos. I personally selfishly want to, but I can't at this point. But I am still a hardcore Kang gang. And anytime I see anybody talking trash about him, how he sucks, I'm like, no, you're wrong. I'm right. He's the best. Kang gang. All right, so I mentioned Thanos. I think Thanos, without a doubt, is probably the #1 big bad to buy. I don't think you're ever going to regret buying Thanos. He did have the top part of that mountain for so long, just king of all. But I think with the nerfed Sequinjet and Lockjaw, that particular deck has made him suffer quite a bit, but he's still really good. There are plenty of decks to make him good. You obviously get the Infinity Stones, you play those out. If you play them right, you're able to get a lot of points on the board, get him strong, and depending what sort of deck you can play, you can feed those 1-cost stones or kill them to help lower the cost of your death. Thanos' death go hand in hand together. His variants are also pretty sweet. The baby one's pretty awesome. The Flaviano, this random variant, it's not bad. The lightning variant you see a lot. I'd like to see them get a couple other cool Thanos variants in game. None of these feel super epic to me. You can see that he can be in a ton of different type of decks. I mentioned Lockjaw earlier. There's the Killmonger, which will take out those ones. The Death is in there. The She-Hulk, if you ever have to pass. A lot of 6-cost cards in here because remember, you get the Infinity Stones. They actually have a junk version of this with a Valkyrie, which actually could be really good because remember, you're playing a lot of cards in one location. So if you're confident you're going to have the 4-cost cards in a spot and maybe throw it with the Soul Stone because it then reduces the points in your opponent's lane, that's a great combination for Valkyrie. They even throw the Daredevil in here, which I personally love. Thanos Zoo, and again, another Thanos Lockjaw. One that they don't show on that site that I think is really good is Thanos Ongoing. There's more talk about this now. Granted, again, with Enchantress right now, you want to spread your Ongoing out a little bit, but this can actually be very good as well. You've still got your Lockjaw in there. You also have your Daredevil and your Professor X if you're going to try to get anything there. Your hand should almost always be pretty full given that you're going to have all of those stones. You've got the Devil Dinosaur for those situations, an Onslaught to help double up anything with Claw or Blue Marvel, even Iron Man. You can see this is a very expensive deck, but because you've got these 4 cards that are 3 or less plus your Infinity Stones. And just think, anytime you play an Infinity Stone on Lockjaw, it's got the chance to bring one of these other cards out, which is great. Really, the only bad card in this entire deck that could be bad for a Thanos to be pulled out with is Wasp. And that's not the end of the world. Ideally, you could maybe hold on to Lockjaw unless you have Wasp in hand. You do risk a little bit with Professor X in case somebody's got more points in the lane as you. So I mentioned a new big bad coming to the game. Now, I have not seen 100% official confirmation on which it's going to be, but there's talk about the Living Tribunal and High Evolutionary. And those are the two that I want to talk about a little bit because both could be very strong, powerful cards. I want to talk about Living Tribunal first. The way Living Tribunal works is it splits your total power evenly among all locations, which in theory could be pretty good. There's some pretty nice variants out there for this guy. The Chibi variant is a little weird, but it's not bad. I think this variant here might be the one that I think I like the best. Nothing that really blows me away. Obviously, no decks to necessarily look at, but the thing that I want to focus on with the Living Tribunal, this was asked on Twitter. There are 2 different texts in the video that I'm about to show you with the Living Tribunal. One was there's a graphic text basically saying at the end of all games, your power is evenly is split evenly among all locations, and another said it was ongoing, split your total power evenly among all locations. Which one was right? Len Jones specifically said it's an ongoing card. A couple of assets in the video were wrong. So that's the part I want to focus on, is the Living Tribunal is going to be ongoing. Don't stress about Enchantress. Unless you find a way to bring Living Tribunal out early, you're not going to have to worry about that. And frankly, you shouldn't do that. So anybody with Enchantress is going to have to guess where you're going to play it. And you playing Living Tribunal should have priority to play first for them to even Enchantress it. So I'm not super stressed about that, or even rogue it. I'm not going to worry about that too much. But the character that can make this card feel way less exciting is Super Skrull. I have him in my must-buy section on the free May cards. And if I start seeing a bunch of Living Tribunals out there, I'm just going to have my Super Skrull do the exact same thing. And that feels pretty bad for a big bad, if he's a big bad. Now, one of the things I think might make him a big bad, oh, here, Ben Bro, they did a video. And by the way, this video is absolutely fantastic. This was all about the Guardians and the upcoming May season. Now, this was when they started bringing in Living Tribunal. And you can see the text here says, at the end of the game, split your total evenly among all locations. That's what was referenced in the tweet. So this is the part where I think it almost guarantees that he is going to be a big bad. Because when you play Living Tribunal, check out this animation. That's a pretty intense animation for somebody in game. Now, Stegron does have a pretty normal animation in game too. I don't know. That one just felt pretty cool, pretty powerful, and made me think this is likely gonna be a big bad. Also, just take note, Shuri in this, there's a chance with Living Tribunal, Shuri is definitely gonna make a resurgence. Again, pretty intense animation. I just think that it could be something that seems very, very big bad-like. But because of that ongoing situation, it makes me think it might not be worth buying, because if it's going to get stolen from your opponent that easy, I think I'm gonna wanna save my it's super cool, but unless I'm really into Shuri and really into packing in one lane, I think I'm going to save the tokens on this one and hope to get it in a draw somehow, or just run Super Skrull if I start seeing Living Tribunals all over the place. The other new card that's been talked about as potentially a big bad is High Evolutionary. This card at the start of the game is going to unlock a secret ability of all your cards with no abilities, your Wasps, your Shockers, your Misty Knights, your Abominations, your Hulks, stuff like that. Not going to go through the list of what those cards change into. It's awesome. Ben Brode, in that video I was showing you, even joked about how he pitched this card as a joke, and then they took him up on it. I think it's a great card, and a great deck's going to come out of it. And because that deck looks so strong and powerful, that's why I think High Evolutionary could be a big bad as well. But we haven't seen any animations. I haven't seen any confirmations one way or another. Both of these cards, Living Tribunal and High Evolutionary, come out around the same time. So even if High Evolutionary is not a big bad, I might consider getting it right away just to play with it. There's not a lot of cool variants that are showing up here. So for that, I'm kind of like, that's a really big bummer. Dan hips are generally popular, but nothing in there that's really exciting to me at this point. Now, if he becomes a big bad, I would say without a doubt, he should be the #1 buy in my mind. The stuff that this decks are going to do, I think, is going to be fantastic, especially for a new player. The cards that you need are all super basic cards. These are the ones that are playing that show those cards and some of the actual things that they're going to do, so you get a feel for it. And again, I just think that this sort of deck for a new player that you get all of these type of cards so easily, it's going to be fun. I like to throw in Hazmat. I like to throw in Luke Cage in this deck because I think it's going to be important to be able to affect some of those negative powers. I just love this deck, and I think even as an endgame player, you are going to have a lot of fun. Abomination is potentially going to get real cheap. Think about She-Hulk, and Abomination is similar. And then Hulk, you throw in Sunspot as well. You can't tell me a deck like that is that intimidating right now, but it's really easy to get. So you just got to get a few more cards to fill it in. But until we know for sure if he's a big bad, I can't say. But if he is, I would absolutely spend it. If he's not, I mean, as a content creator, I think I probably will, because I do think it's going to be a good deck and I want to play it. I think anybody buying new cards, unless you are one of the bigger content creators who are making a good living off of the game, I would wait at least a few days to see how a card reacts and how people like it, because that 6K tokens goes down in half, you know, just in a few months. So use those tokens wisely. Again, I want to shout out to the giveaway. So if you're interested in getting this new upcoming season pass, we've got about a week to get it done. So make sure you go over to check out this tweet, retweet it, like it, subscribe, all that sort of thing. Comment to the tweet as well. I want to give these away. And like I said, I just want to say thank you for everybody who's been doing any of the encouragement stuff. I'm trying to do this full time now. I'm really focused on it hardcore, and I want to do anything I can to help make good content for the community. I love making helpful stuff. I love giving my opinions on things. So I want to say thank you back to you, and this is my way of doing it. If you want to share with your aunts, uncles, nieces, nephews, always appreciate that. Hammer down that like button. And until next time, I hope you have a wonderful day.